Welcome to the show. It's the Film Threat Livecast. Live on a Friday. I am Chris Gore. This is Film Threat. And Alan Ng, typical, is late. But we'll get to him in the moment. Lots of movies to review. MaXXXine, a movie called Kill. Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, among others. And we have an interview with a filmmaker that's director Stimson, Snead, who did the movie Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox. Lots to talk about. Your comments and questions. The Kalki controversy. That's right. Kalki 2898 AD has been controversial here. Oh my God. I have a 4th of July hangover. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So let's get things started. Let's go. Let's find Alan. Where is he? Where did he go? Come on.
Let's get this show started. There's a video here I gotta play that I can't find. Let's get this show started. And there used to be a video here, and I'm going nuts. And let's. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's do this. Let's get the show. Let's get things started as I look for the opening intro. Here we go.
Alan.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, if there was ever a video that was controversial, that was the one.
Controversial. What did
Controversial.
I say? Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not hungover, I'm just tired. I walked to the Rose Bowl, the actual Pasadena Rose Bowl from my place, a little over a 2-mile walk, and walked back. And it was windy through the hills, whatever. I went to an LA Galaxy game and saw the fireworks as I was telling everyone. Dude, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I'll show you what it was like. I have not been to an LA Galaxy game in, God, maybe 20 years. Have not been. It has grown. They filled the Rose Bowl Stadium. It was nuts. This is at the very beginning. Let me show you this. Crazy. You walk there. And I was the whole game. I had so much fun. I'll be going back. It's like that level of energy for 2 hours. It's crazy. That's my friend Alan. There you go. So
wow.
There. Wait.
You brought a hot friend.
Yes. Well, I'll show you.
I'm not talking about Alex.
Oh yeah. Well, it was just chaos. It was like people going. They had fireworks in the crowd. Yeah, I thought there was something going on there, but there was some mishap. It was just people having a great. I was floored how the crowd was into it. So
was that an actual fire or
right? No, it wasn't.
That's weird.
That was them doing fireworks at the stadium in the crowd. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, I had a great time.
David Beckham still playing for the Galaxy.
And the weird thing is, no.
Okay.
The weird thing is, after there was the fireworks out on the outside of the stadium, here's what I don't get. Don't take video of fireworks. You're never going to watch it. You're never going to, if you're watching fireworks, just watch the fireworks. I see these people with their phones filming the fireworks. First of all, you can never capture the awe, the epicness, the majesty of some huge fireworks display. It does not translate to film, except for maybe the end of Return of the Jedi. But other than that, had a great night. And of course, it's LA. I'm in Pasadena on the outskirts of LA. And it felt like a war zone. It felt like all night, even I'm walking home, right? The fireworks are done, and all you hear is it was like LA was under attack. What did you do for Fourth of July?
Yeah, we well, used the smoker, did a whole chicken and some beef, and then did some swimming. And then I got to say, our community loves illegal fireworks. And so
yes,
we had a fireworks show on our street.
I got a text message that fireworks are illegal in LA. And I was like, well, you're talking to the wrong guy. And then there's a video of LA and it's just everywhere.
I drove through Buena Park on the 4th of July, and it is a literal war zone with all the fireworks going off. It's just nothing but smoke. It smells like gunpowder everywhere.
I love it. I love it. Hey, let's say hi to everyone here, Alan, if you would.
Yes, from Skiz Spivak Esquire for $13.99 Canadian. Thank you. Hope you all had a good 4th. Yeah, and I hope you had a good 4th in Canada as well.
Right. Starting from the bottom, here we go.
All right. From Sifax. Hey, Sifax. Hail, Film Threat. Looking forward to a great Friday hangover stream versus beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I can't go tomorrow. Spidey Sensei 72. Lots of mixed reviews for MaXXXine. Hearing it really blows the final act.
We'll see. We'll get to it. Okay.
All right, Chelsea M. Hail and happy Friday, everyone. Salmon Thornton. Greetings, dudes and dudettes. Mateus FP. Hey ho, let's go. Nick XH. Greetings from the UK with a new Labor Minister of Prime.
MP, yes, that's exactly. Yeah. Well, congrats to everyone in the UK. You have elections.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Yes.
Proud of you.
And all I can say is the air will be cleaner now in the UK. As will now be healthier. Okay, Goober. Hey, movie peoples. And Andrew Cram. Morning all.
And I want to say most of those people who posted comments are members, and we appreciate you. Members get things first. Members get exclusive videos. Members get codes to videos. I like to post offers. I get offers for things. I like to share. Couple things I want to let you guys know about. And let's let everybody know the Film Threat shop. Yes, we have a sale going. You can still get your beer, barbecue, and Film Threat shirts. And yes, right here, you've got the RIP Film Threat, Celebrate the Legacy Funeral for a Franchise. That is Wednesday, July 17th. It's a global event all day, a funeral for Star Wars. We're doing it, and you can get merch. Yes, the official merch for the event at shop.filmthreat.com. There's an offer code, right? And there's a banner for it. Right?
Is there?
Yeah, it's definitely a banner for it. Isn't there? So someone's going to put a banner up. Got to be prepared here, but I'll show you what else we have here with a, you'll see here. I love this. This turned out so well. Here we go. We've got a mug as well. Is the banner running? There you go.
Yeah, it's right on the bottom.
Shop.filmthreat.com. Use the offer code Star Wars is dead. That's right. Star Wars is dead. It's only good for the next week. We'll cut it off a week from today. That's it. And this merch is only available for a limited time. After it's gone, after the event is over, it's over. You got 1 week. So jump in for 15% off. Use the offer code Star Wars is dead. All right, a couple of other things I got to let you know about. Guess what, Alan?
What?
We are busy. We are busy beavers at San Diego Comic-Con. Check this out. Look at this. This is our lineup of what we're doing at San Diego Comic-Con.
Again, you could just ask me to send you a picture of myself. That would have been.
You looked great. You look great. There's a meetup on Wednesday. Thursday, we're doing a signing. I'm on a panel, the Writers Workshop. Saturday, another signing and another panel at 7:30. We will post this in the community tab, and that's our schedule. We look like, I'm not gonna lie, we look like a gay couple.
I don't know. Although your boobs are more pronounced than mine.
That's true. My man boobs are pretty awful there.
Yeah.
So, and there is a link to more details on filmthreat.com. There's a story. We go over all the details of that. So, hope if you are going to San Diego, we will run into you. So, at some point. Great. Awesome. All right, Alan.
I just spent $100 on parking at San Diego, so I'm ready to go.
Are you kidding?
Well, I mean, 4 days for roughly 25.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we've got a couple of news stories before we get to reviews. Alan, would you get to the Kalki? You have you have everything. You have it all prepped?
It's all ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
All right, just a sec then. Could you get your shareable thing up?
It's ready to go. If I click it, it's going to pop up right away. So I'm.
Well, all right. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm on my screen. I'm looking at. What was that?
Your chunk. Isn't that it?
What was that? All right, Alan, you have drawn the ire of the entire country of India.
Yes.
With your review of Kalki 2898.
Yes.
AD.
Yeah, I predicted it. I knew I was going to get heat for not liking Kalki 2898 AD. And here are a few comments that appeared on the video of that. Here's the first one. Dude. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. You are meddling with Indian audience. Not good for your channel.
Not so good.
Not so good for your channel. This is okay. Here we go. Dude, you can't even pronounce the names correctly. Please refrain from giving and kind of review feedbacks.
Please restrain from giving and kind of review feedbacks.
Yes. All right, let's cut down. It gets better. It's good you can't understand. We are not afflicted with the woke culture as much in India, so I can see your apprehensions. Good luck making more cringe movies in Hollywood. Do not review something when you clearly have a bias and also zilch about Indian epics.
Here's the weird thing. Wait, before you go on, I love the movie. I said it was goofy and fun like Flash Gordon. But you did not like it.
I did not like it. In fact, and we should also mention, it's not like we just went to the movie theater to watch it and then review it. We were invited to see.
Yeah, we were invited.
We were invited, and clearly one of us is more of a shill to our publicist than the other. And
I'm being honest. All right.
Okay.
All right, what else?
Here we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oops, there we go. I would take foreign reviews. Anyone who is unaware of Mahabharata or Bharata with a pinch of salt. As Alan says it in 4 minutes and 58 seconds, the characters and the story is based on Hindu mythology And I personally feel people who doesn't know the basic characters of Mahabharata will not be able to enjoy the full extent. They feel like they're watching the Avengers movies without knowing Iron Man / Captain America or the Tesseract is.
Fair point.
Okay, fair. Here we go. This movie is not for ignorance. That would be us.
No, that'd be you. That'd be you. At least I went into it. I'm like, all right, there's gonna be music, dancing, and goofy effects.
Yes.
And it delivered.
Yes. Yeah, no, that sounds like a well-informed opinion about Hindu culture.
Yeah, true. Okay.
All right, there you go. Yes, you're not ignorance. Let's see. Pregnant woman is not subplot. It's the main plot. Did you actually watch the movie? This is regarding your comment that the pregnant woman is a subplot.
Well,
did you watch the movie?
Red. I mean, anyways.
Okay. That went over the top of their heads because Westerners have different form of storytelling in their movies. They were expecting Star Wars for some reason.
Well, I definitely was not because I saw the trailer.
Yeah, but it's just saying that Westerners don't get Indian culture. This review is unbelievably biased, unfairly so. This review was unbearable. Yeah, not the first time I heard that. And Kazunite.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, Alan, look, if you're gonna fight a country, bring it on. India, I have liked a lot of your films. RRR, I was pushing that for a year. I was watching the Oscars and RRR was robbed. It should have been nominated for Best Picture, Best Special Effects, there's so many other categories. I mean, it won in Best Song, but that was I don't know.
It deserved it. It was your best song.
It was, and Roger Mouli is revered and respected by directors in the U.S. I say give it time. Alan will turn around. I can save him. I can fix him.
Let's just say there's another movie that we're about to review that I think we're doing
another Indian movie we'll review later in the show.
And then also
I saw you did not.
Let me just say this regarding RRR. Who was one of the first outlets to talk about this movie? It was Film Threat. It was us.
Right.
The movie came out. A friend told you to go see it. You saw it, then told me to see it. That's 3 weeks into the initial release of RRR that we were talking about the movie.
Yeah,
well, we're the ones who made it an American phenomenon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Are you typing a note saying not to interrupt?
I'm typing in.
You're typing a note to me saying don't interrupt me.
No, I'm typing a note. So let's go. So, all right, Alan, what do you think? This is not the first time, by the way, that we have drawn the ire of an entire country. We had some of our early reviews on the revamped website in 2017. The country of Australia was mad at us for giving this film a bad review. It was crazy. So good luck. All right, let's get to comments here real quick.
Yeah, Solomon Thorne, sorry. India versus Alan, this ought to be good. This is not the first time I drew the ire of the entire Indian country. Country of
right.
India. Grizzled Entertainment, Ing the Merciless versus India. That's how many would want it. Mike MC Wong, I love Alan being racist. Not liking a movie doesn't make you racist. Just saying. Christopher Moonlight Productions. Alan just summoned a Kandarian demon in my office from those pronunciations. Mob 19001. Gore single-handedly promoted RRR.
Yes, I did. I got so many people thanking me for making them aware of that movie. So,
Yes.
hey, big super chat came in.
Ooh, for
Andrew Cram for 50.
Having a bias or a different opinion and being able to talk about it and share a perspective in good faith is what having an interesting conversation should be about. Oh, I could tell you, watching that movie, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it.
Well, hey, Andrew, really appreciate that. That is generous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is what I love. I don't care that Alan did not like the film. And we're going to be divided on a couple movies today, I think.
Probably.
I love the conversation. This is what I live for, to see movies, see it through my perspective, and see it through the perspective of Alan, and see what he got from the movie. And a lot of times Alan has an insight I did not consider. And sometimes he says something really, I mean, come on, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. You getting on me for the couch, the coffee table? Sorry, the coffee table.
The couch.
The couch. No, because there's a movie I was watching called Mother Couch. And so I've got furniture on the brain.
Look, I think knowing the subject matter, it's fair that you did not like the coffee table. I get it. That's a rough movie, but that's what's fun about movie conversations. Hey, Dr. Gonzo is here for 5.
Hey, Dr. Gonzo. Hey, thanks for the note the other day, by the way, Dr. Gonzo. For 5, hey guys, people like different movies. I liked Axel Foley on Netflix. Others did not. It's okay. Love you guys.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that very soon.
By the way, there was one comment I forgot to put on there, but it was basically we were the only review to mention Roxy from Kalki 28.
Exactly.
Boy,
exactly.
Roxy.
All right, we're pivoting. We're going to pivot from that to what do we got?
We got everything.
How about something fun?
Okay.
We're about to review MaXXXine, and Mia Goth is an actress I love. She is just, the movie could be bad. She is good in everything I've seen her in. So she did a video on YouTube where she reads fan mail. Okay, I'm gonna play it here. It's really funny because there's a promotion going on with A24 who put this movie out, and you can sign up to receive updates. And I get text messages from MaXXXine. So she'll say, it's like an AI chat bot where MaXXXine texts you, and you can text her back and get in a conversation with the character from the movie. And it's in my phone, and it's so funny because her picture is on it, and I get messages from MaXXXine Minx. It's pretty hilarious. She said, there's a video here. Anyways,
you need a girlfriend. You need a girlfriend.
No, I'm
okay.
We'll see. Let's check this out. It's entertaining. Here we go. Ready, Alan?
Yes.
I would leave my wife for you, MaXXXine Minx. I love you. I love you, Johnny Williams. All right, we ready? I'm Mia Goth, and I'm going to be reading MaXXXine's fan mail. My letter cutter. Andy Bazaluda. Hi, Andy. MaXXXine, you are an inspiration for us all. When I feel down and lost, I think to myself, what would MaXXXine do? Oh, I love you, Andy. JJ Black. Dear MaXXXine, here's a haiku for you. A star was once born, alive and doe-eyed. She left a damn legacy. Thank you, honey. Oh, Bo Wazalewski. MaXXXine, you're the reason I came out as trans, and hear the words, I will not accept a life I do not deserve, is what kicked me into gear, so thank you for helping me find myself, and happy Pride Month. Is this real? You're amazing. Mother Minx, greetings from your ardent fan, one who once trembled at your sultry scenes, but now screams in delight at your horror prowess. Keep making our hearts race and our spines shiver. Forever your fan, both in the sheets and the seats. Will. My God, I gotta save these messages.
All right. So, well, that was cute. I just think it's an interesting marketing campaign to, have a character you can text and text. It's new. I've never seen it. So that was interesting. Interesting to say the least. All right.
Yeah. If you had been more aggressive, she could have read one of yours.
A couple quick chat questions before we pivot. Go ahead, Alan.
Oh, yes. Sons and Shadows gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Awesome. Take advantage of that. Look, 50 from Rumble. 50 from Uncle Peon.
No,
Unicycle Peon. Oh my God, I'm reading like Alan now. Unicycle Peon. I'm sorry for 50. Thank you so much, Alan. If you would.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm off today, so I can do a live dono. Love all the stuff y'all do. Watch as much as I can, usually after. Cheers from Mississippi.
Well, cheers back to you in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. That is super generous.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. That's awesome. Cool. That's great. All right. We are going to now pivot. We have so many movies to review. Should we do the Megaverse thing and then movies?
Oh, you want to do that?
Yes.
All right.
Do you have a link?
Yeah, I have the video. I have it downloaded.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to review Minions or Despicable Me 4. But there's a video accompanying it that you will not believe.
Yeah.
Okay. If you've not seen this, you've got to check this out. Alan, if you would play the video.
All right, here we go.
Are we just showing weird promos for stuff now? Is that what we're doing?
Pretty much. I swear, Steve Carell has the greatest delivery.
Well, yeah, I've always loved Steve Carell. I think from 40-Year-Old Virgin to The Office,
Foxcatcher, yes.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, goofing on Marvel is certainly something that the industry does. I mean, they're a target for all their success. So, I was amused. I was tickled with that video. So there you go. Quick comments here from people. Oh, we don't have comments.
Yeah,
all right, we're pivoting. We're gonna pivot, Alan. We're gonna pivot, and what we do when we pivot, we normally
You usually play a video at that point, and then
we play a video. So
here we go.
All right, we'll get to our first movie review in a second. Yeah, you got to keep up. You got to keep up.
Yeah, got to keep up. Keep it up. Rock it hard. Make it work. And make it so.
All right. Let's talk about Despicable Me 4. It is in theaters now. This is, of course, the 4th movie in this franchise. I'm glad they're numbering them. I'm glad they are numbering them so we can keep track. But these, look, I've always enjoyed these movies, and I could not, after I see them, I'm like, while I'm watching them, I enjoy these films. And then I don't remember what I just watched. This movie introduces the sort of the Mega Minions, which are basically a spoof on the Avengers meets the Fantastic Four, but that's a subplot to the main plot. I mean, I'll say I enjoyed the last one, number 3, part 3, probably the most. It had a completely different storyline focusing on these new villains. And this movie takes the family that puts them in protective custody, like living secret identities. And that is balanced with a Mega Minions plot. It's like they made 4 short films and strung them together with a story. Is that accurate?
Yeah, but I don't know how much you remember of the previous Despicable Me's, but that's pretty on par.
Right.
There's several
kind of
storylines
messing all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, there are at least 2 storylines that just feature the minions themselves. And what I found interesting was what the first one came out in 2010, so my daughter would have been a little too young she'd been 3, so I remember her watching this on the iPad for a very long time, and then we finally got to see the movies, and it just dawned on me that she is now too old to enjoy the minions, to enjoy Despicable Me. And it's a testament to the franchise that it's able to keep its audience rolling along. That it's timeless. That and again, it's a throwback to the old slapstick, the old Three Stooges.
Right.
You have these little indestructible minions that just do horrible things to each other. The violence is something I've missed in cartoons and animation for a very long time.
Yes. Like, I was a big Looney Tunes guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love crazy violence, Yosemite Sam with guns. I mean, to me, I always thought Disney was kind of milquetoast and boring. I was a Looney Tunes guy. Give me Bugs Bunny in a dress, or
rabbit season, duck season, and it's gun violence.
That one of the greatest comedy bits in animation ever. So I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote holding a barrel of TNT, and then up in his hands. I mean, that's what the minions are. It's just a throwback, and I guess because they're cute and they're yellow and they're aliens or whatever they are, it's okay to commit horrible violence to them, and audiences love it. I will say that this one, look, if you follow the course of Despicable Me, it's really about this family. The first one was about Gru and the 3 girls. The second one was about finding his wife and finding love and her being accepted by the 3 girls. And then the last one was finding out he had a brother. There's a heart there. There's a family there. This one, not so much. It's about going into family protective services. It's about moving away from the life you knew and establishing a new one. And so I felt like the story here is probably the weakest of the 4. But at the same time, it is on par with all the other Minion movies in terms of, like we just mentioned, the violence and everything. And so not the greatest story, but it's still more of what we love about the series.
I did like the neighbor girl who aspired to be a villain, and that caper that they pulled. They pulled off, a robbery. And that was a good subplot.
Right, but that speaks to the problem of moving this franchise forward, is that the family aspect of Gru is waning away, because you spend more time with Poppy, that girl, than you do with the 3 other girls that he's been raising from the.
And then, of course, there's a subplot of a minion trapped in a redemption machine.
Yeah,
that goes the whole movie, and you have to stick to the end. So,
yeah, who knew the biggest part of the comedy would be a minion and a vending machine?
Yeah. But look, I'm like, these movies are like fast food or something, like, you're not. It's a good distraction, but I do find it like these movies and the Minions. It's like hanging out with a bunch of ADD kids for like 90 minutes. So, I give it a mild recommend, but if you don't like these movies, don't go. You will not like it. So maybe a 6 or 5.5 for me, and not my favorite one of these. So barely recommend. But only if you're like, if you like the Minions movies or Despicable, go. By all means, go. If you don't like them, you will not like it, period.
Yeah, I think I liked it a little bit better than you. I gave it a 7. I think Will Ferrell, I didn't even realize that was Will Ferrell as Maxim, the main villain.
Oh, wow.
He gives a very non-Will Ferrell performance. Because you're used to him being much more flamboyant in his roles. This one, he just plays a straight out comic villain, and I really like that. And then,
But I'll tell you this: these movies make money.
Mhm.
This, like, all of them have been huge hits.
Yeah.
And we don't like, we think of the big movies, whatever. Like these things are so like a guaranteed, a check waiting to be cashed because they're so popular. And little kids like these movies. Probably because of the ADD nature of everything going on. Like, this is for the TikTok generation, I guess. So mild recommend from me. You liked it more. There you go.
And it's on par to basically overperform. This is the word that Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me 4 have been labeled with. It's overperforming. For some reason, people are just want to go and see these movies. And what'll be interesting in terms of this battle with Inside Out, I think Despicable Me skews much younger than Inside Out 2. And so I'm not, it's obviously going to take Disney down from the top spot. But I think both movies will have legs because it does appeal to different audiences of kids.
Yeah, but I'll say when it comes to the Illumination movies, I prefer Sing. I don't know if you've seen those films, but like it actually has heart and story arcs and characters you get into, and then just filled with an excuse to sing songs. That's it. Pop music, and characters that actually grow, have arcs and change, and so I prefer the Sing films. But I'll say this on Illumination, there's nothing objectionable at all. That's why I think that all these movies are popular. You don't have to worry about like how many drag queens are in the story. Like it's like where Disney has lost faith, Illumination is bringing people in.
Yeah, and what's amazing is while Disney was embroiled in all this, messaging, the Despicable Me just refused to go there.
Yep.
And they put out Rise of Gru and Minions, two other movies that were just as tame and didn't succumb to the messaging.
And there's a new Sing film on the horizon, which should be a lot of fun. So,
well, we'll see if my daughter wants to see that one. Oh my gosh, she was so into Sing 2, and
it was very good.
And she got to meet Bono, so that's who she knows no idea who that was.
Well, there you are. Let's look at comments right here, starting with super chats.
Yes, from Narf Metman for 5.99 euros. Not trying to rub salt into the wound, but at Comic-Con, remove stuff from the car while it is parked outside, especially money and celebrity poop books.
Yes, we learned that lesson in Vegas, right, Alan?
Don't know what that means. Here's the lesson I've learned. If Chris tries to put something in your car, refuse it.
Or just when I ask you to do something, like give my stuff to another person, just give it to them.
Well, I did the next day.
Assumption.
Yeah, but if you're gonna put hundreds of dollars of cash in my car, it
was over $1,000.
Tell me, you could have said, "Hey, there's large sums of cash in your car. Make sure they."
I just assumed you would listen.
No, I just assumed that if you're gonna put large sums of cash in my car, you would let me know that. Because if you had told me, you would still have that cash.
Ugh, I hate
just saying. You would still have that money.
You're opening an old wound here, Narf.
Thanks, Narf.
All right, thank you for that. That's now only $994.01 until
you get all
the money is made up. Yeah. So, okay, Alan, let's keep going.
Scott Lewis for 10, super sticker. Thank you. I don't know what it is.
Thank you for that.
From Sukar Sikorn for 100 rupees. I love your review of Kalki. I've been a big fan of the channel ever since you guys reviewed RRR. Don't worry about the comments, Alan. Love from India.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah, I will say that there were comments from people from India who supported me, and
well, there you go.
Yeah, but they weren't as funny as the other ones.
Thank you.
All right, Grizzled Entertainment, Looney Tunes any day, absolutely. From
Yeah.
Rumble.
From Rumble.
From Rumble. Kevin ties for $1. Thank you. I heard that the Minions and company are teaming up with Jason Statham for Despicable Meg.
Oh my God, that actually would be good.
So do you do a
Meg? The Meg 2 was so bad. The first one was fun. It was so dumb and over the top. It was fun. Meg 2 went way over the top. It was bad. Meg 2 jumped the shark, actually.
Yeah, I want a live action Jason Statham movie with minions, with animated minions in it.
Where he kills them. He shoots them in the head.
Or he tries to kill him. You can't kill him. The Introspect M. Because they're yellow, it's okay. It's okay to commit horrible violence on them. Yes.
That's a quote from Alan Ng on July 5th, 2024. Yeah.
And if you've seen Olympus Has Fallen, there was incredible violence to yellow people there too.
Well, there you go. There you go. Thank you for that. Let's pivot and review another movie.
Okay. You fuck that bitch.
Just following up on the
Yes.
on the the yellow comment. I thought that would be a good remark to make.
And we just got demonetized. So
Did you? Yeah, you said that. I had nothing.
because it was the name of someone who gave us a super chat.
Excuses. All right, Alan, tell us about Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, which is the fourth movie in the Beverly Hills Cop connected universe.
Yes. Well, I'm reading from the press release here, but it's 30 years
that you watched it. Just give me the plot.
I'm saying no, but I found this interesting. It takes place 30 years after the Wonderworld incident.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So here we go. What's happening is Axel Foley is a Detroit cop, as we know. He's gotten very old, and he took a trash truck and ran it through the streets of Chicago, destroying property just to catch the bad guy. And he's basically warned that maybe it's time to retire. As Axel thinks about it, he gets a mysterious phone call from Rosewood, from Beverly Hills. He's in trouble, and his daughter Jane is in trouble. Daughter Jane is now a lawyer, a defense attorney in Los Angeles. She's representing a young client named Enriquez. He is framed for the murder of a police officer, of an undercover police officer, and he's about to go to jail for the rest of his life. And as Jane begins to delve further into the investigation, she's gaining notice of the wrong people who try to kill her. And in the process, then Axel goes to Beverly Hills to return to his buddies there and save the day. And that's Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F.
Now, this movie is on Netflix. It's playing, oddly enough, in a couple theaters in LA. It's at the Egyptian and one other AMC theater. But this is a Netflix, direct-to-Netflix movie that feels like what we would describe as a direct-to-video or a TV movie. I want to add, first of all, by the way, Eddie Murphy looks great.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy is channeling younger Eddie Murphy for this role. So he's really good. The script, it's a bit mixed for me. I mean, I don't know what my expectations would be. My feelings about this movie are kind of the same as Roadhouse. Roadhouse, I had fun watching it, and I have to admit, I kind of had fun watching this. I had fun. But I'll say the Botox and hair dye budget for this, you got Paul Reiser. I barely recognize Bronson Pinchot as Surge, right? Surge, like, oh my God, that's right. Surge was a character. Judge Reinhold as a detective and John Ashton, they all look so old everyone could say, I'm getting too old for this shit, except for Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy looks amazing, but all the other people in it, they look as best as they could with all the help they could get. So I felt a little sad. There's Joseph Gordon-Levitt pays his daughter Jane ex-boyfriend, who's also a cop. And there is a funny scene with them in a helicopter. I gotta say, the effects in this, they really did like amp up the effects, but my expectations were really low and it exceeded my low expectations. No, I'm serious. It's how I felt about Roadhouse. Roadhouse? It's not a franchise. Beverly Hills Cop, look, it's not Star Wars. It's not a Marvel movie. It's whatever, like a Bad Boys film. But this easily could have been in a theater. Easily. I don't know why it wasn't a wide release in theaters. Huge mistake. And it's here's what I'll say. It's fine. It's fine. Which is like a lot how I feel about a lot of Netflix stuff is like, it's fine. You know?
Yeah, nothing really stands out much from coming from Netflix. The other thing is, you don't know why it's not in the theaters. It's on par for what Netflix does. That, I've been talking about this for years. A friend of ours on his show talks about this all the time. But Netflix just won't put movies out in theaters. It is right. They feel like movie theaters cannibalize their subscriptions, and they refuse. They absolutely 100% refuse to put movies out of the theater. The only reason they bought or they helped to refurbish the Egyptian is so that they can put it in a theater and it can qualify for Oscars. That's the only reason. I'll say this: you say Beverly Hills Cop is not Star Wars. It is Star Wars. I will say
what.
Look,
no. Here it is. Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
What Beverly Hills Cop did, that actually paid more respect to the legacy characters from the Beverly Hills Cop series than Star Wars. Like Judge Reinhold getting love, John Ashton, Serge, Bronson Pinchot, like. They're all sort of had their moments, right? So I mean, they deserve credit for that.
Yeah. So when I saw Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, the first thing I did after it was over was watch the original Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah. I have fond memories of that movie. First of all, Beverly Hills Cop was the first rated R movie I could take myself to see without a parent having to come along. I've seen Beverly Hills Cop dozens of times. I know that soundtrack like the back of my hand. So I have fond memories of Beverly Hills Cop. Also, go back and watch Beverly Hills Cop. Eddie Murphy is young. He has to be early 20s in Beverly Hills Cop. And it is, because he's writing off of 48 Hours. He's also writing off this amazing run on Saturday Night Live. Also, you have Raw in there as well. So he's a legit star. In fact, Beverly Hills Cop was one of the early films of Touchstone, which basically saved Disney.
Delirious, his comedy special, which you could never show today. His comedy special, Delirious, there's some stuff in there that would get him in trouble. I mean, that was the thing that also got me. You mentioned the music. The music was like, oh, yeah, this is what I remember being fun. They got all the old sort of riffs. And then there's that opening sequence at the Red Wings game.
Yeah.
The big chase scene, which I was like, well, I've been to Red Wings games and it was that was a fun sequence. So they had that action chase scene involving the Red Wings game. You've got the like helicopter, action sequence. And there was a gunfight on Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. It was right in front of the building I used to work at. When I worked at LFP, Larry Flint Publications, it was right there. 9100 Wilshire and 9171 building on Wilshire. I worked there for years and it was like, oh, they're having a gunfight sequence near my old work. I'm familiar with Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
and
was-
there were actual stores on Rodeo Drive that were open.
yeah. Well, now Beverly Hills is a ghost town now.
It is. Rodeo
did
Drive is a ghost town.
It's showing you the idyllic version of Beverly Hills. So
Yeah.
but now it's got homeless tents and closed stores and not as many people walking on the street. It's very, very sad.
Yeah, because
to
we go to
see that.
screenings all the time there, and it's very sad the way it is
It's
now.
really sad.
Yeah,
But
I mean, let me say this about the movie. You know, the original is so great. This one just feels like it was made for purely nostalgia's sake.
yeah,
You know, I mean, as much as we talk about the love given to the old cast, boy are they old.
yeah, they are.
I mean, look, and I don't mean to be mean about it, but it's the reality of it. They've just grown older, and Eddie Murphy moves around great. I mean, that's the best thing you can say about it. And he's doing the Axel Foley thing where he's just BSing all the time. And that was fun. But and then of course they're playing a lot of the music from the original. It was just this movie is pure nostalgia bait. And that doesn't mean it's bad, but it just means it's not going to be as good as the original, and it's not. Look, if you're a fan of the original and you want to see the gang back, this is the movie to see. That's the best I can say about it, because, I think it just tries too hard. It doesn't have the grit, it doesn't have the comedy that the original had, but it got the old gang back together. And that's what I liked about it. The other thing that I noticed in the original was it was the quote unquote wokeness. The fact that Axel goes into the Beverly Hills Palm Hotel and rages by the fact that he can't get a hotel room, that the hotel botched his reservation, and calls out white privilege and black oppression at that point. And back then it was real, and also it was funny.
Yeah.
And it's like if you were to do that today, that whole thing, it would just feel cringe.
Well, there's none of that in this. And I'll just say this. The movie has the right checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Music, check. Bring back the cast, old cast, check. Respect those characters, check. Eddie Murphy doing what Eddie Murphy's good at, like goofing on rich, weird people, check.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy looks the best of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was funny because in the original, he's calling out the weirdness of people living in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and
nothing's changed. Nothing's changed
all the
today.
same. But what I'm saying is there's the checklist of things you would like, devoid of the checklist that we all find annoying, frankly.
Yeah,
so
they definitely remembered what we liked about the original and brought it back.
Yeah, here's what you like about the original. We're going to give you a ton of it. And on that level, it succeeded.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen it with an audience. Watching it on my TV, it was fine. But these movies, because they're kind of just dumb fun, would be fun to see in a theater with a group of people on a Friday night, whatever, all having a good time. So I recommend it. I recommend it for sure.
And I give it a bare recommendation.
Yeah. A bear, like BEAR?
Yes. Although there wasn't, the first one had nudity. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. We both recommend Beverly Hills Cop AF. Let's go to your comments and super chats here, starting with Drewski for $9.99.
Yes. Saw Thelma, based on your recommendation, had an absolute blast.
Absolute blast. Yes, Thelma's great. I'm seeing it again. More super chats. Thank you.
All right. Suns and Shadows for 2. Thank you. Any chance they dust off Nolte for 48 hours, part 3?
I mean, at this stage, they may as well.
As long as he looks
like. How do you do it though?
As long as he looks like his mugshot.
What is he in jail again? And they have to. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to say no on that, but
yeah.
You could you could make an AI version.
Yeah, I mean that one's so much darker than Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I remember there's some really uncomfortable moments in that. It's not as much comedy.
Yeah, I think that we're saying I don't think you could make that movie.
No.
Hey, you for $5. Axel F got me to sign up for Netflix again after not having it for over a year. I don't know if I would have gone to the theater for it.
Well, then it succeeded.
Mhm.
Thank you for your super chat.
Okay, Nomi Alana, there is only one Beverly Hills Cop movie. That's right. The first one. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the first one dozens of times. I've seen 2 and 3 once.
There you go.
Cass again, Shake Down, Take Down, You're Busted. What a great soundtrack.
Yeah, no, it does really work.
Yeah. Hey, it's me in HD. Eddie Murphy is the epitome of black don't crack.
He looks great.
Yeah. And Bootzilla, Botox Hills Cop 4.
That is very accurate. All the old cast, they look like they've gotten a lot of work, except Eddie Murphy.
Let's just say all the residents of Beverly Hills.
That's true. That's true. Okay, we've got so much more to. Hey, let's not get derailed. Let's get. We got so much stuff to do. We got so much stuff to do.
Go.
Go. You gotta help me.
Do it.
Help me.
Go.
Do a show. Jesus. Fuck. Well, that was unusual. How did that
never
happen?
happens on this show?
How did that happen? Hey, let's talk about an Indian movie called Kill. Kill is playing in theaters. It's a very simple story of an ex-military guy and his friend. And this ex-military guy is his girlfriend is getting engaged to, his name is Amrit. His girlfriend is engaged in an arranged marriage. Tulika is getting engaged to another man, but they are truly in love. He proposes to her, and the whole wedding party and everybody gets on a train to New Delhi. And some evil raiders are also on the train. These raiders end up taking over the car of the train, pulling out bags. Give me your phone. Give me all your valuables. And there are about 40 different guys in this train raid. And Amrit, being an ex-military, along with his friend, also ex-military, end up fighting these raiders with whatever they have. No guns. It's whatever they got. They got knives. They got a coffee mug, whatever it is. It's like John Wick without guns on a train. And it's relentless, brutal violence. I will say this. The story takes an absolutely dark turn in the middle that I did not expect, which I thought really worked. It's also, I should mention, a lot of Indian movies are like 3 hours. This is like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's short. It's short for an Indian film. And because it's all this close quarters action, like fighting in a very small space, it's very much a lot of improvisation in the violence. And it's super over the top. I recommend, if you think about seeing this movie, watch the trailer first. It's you'll get a taste of what it is. And I'll say this, that's the whole movie. What I just told you, I mean, you're thinking like, how can they drag this on forever? And they figure out ways to do it. People get separated in different cars. Some people have to go over the top to get and rescue other people. They holding out here. People die in horrific ways. It's graphic. So, and the guy who is the lead actor, he's amazing. He is really incredible. I see Amrit is played by Lakshya. I pronounced it wrong. But I recommend this if you are like just thinking, I'd like to check out an Indian movie. There's no musical dance numbers. Zero. No musical dance numbers. It hyper violent. The best thing to describe it is like John Wick with no guns. Although there are some guns, but they're not the primary weapon of choice. So, and some brutal kills, brutal. And the plot is fairly simple. So I gotta say, I recommend it. I recommend it if you like these kinds of films, and it's way better than Monkey Man. Remember Monkey Man that came out earlier, and then it just did not deliver. This is like, don't be turned off by Monkey Man, and I do like Dev Patel as an actor. He's good, not always in good movies. This thing delivers once it kicks in about maybe 15 minutes into the movie. Boom. It just I'm thinking, how can they keep up this level of violence for another 90 minutes? And it does. So bravo to Kill. Another Indian movie recommendation that I would say. So, and it's directed by Nikhil Bhatt. And it's playing in limited release.
Yeah.
Alan, did you see Kill?
Yes, I did.
What do you think? Am I
yes,
fairly?
I loved Kill, and so please, everyone, stop getting on me about Kalki.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I love this movie. You talk about, there's a moment where things shift gears halfway through, and where basically the title of the movie, and this is just pure action. And it's so unique as well. For some reason, I think Americans don't know how to do train thrillers, because we've gotten a lot of great train thrillers that have come overseas, and this is just one of those. The one thing that I notice is that the weapons used in this one, they're not normal. They're not American weapons. They're not Western
Right.
weapons. I mean, you have knives and machetes, and they're all curved. And
hammers, and
hammers.
And
but the knives and the machetes are all curved, and I've always wondered, well, why is that an advantage? And we see it in this one. We see just how brutal things get. This idea that bandits can board a train and start robbing people. Who's ever heard of that? That doesn't happen in the world. But this movie it's just relentless. It is a great action movie. It's accessible as hell. You understand the stakes involved.
Yes.
The whole idea of it's the power of two. You see the power of two here, and I like there's a lot of things that happen in this movie that would never happen in an American movie. And a lot of it has to do with the innocent bystanders. A lot of it has to do with the fate of certain important characters in this movie. And I could guarantee you that Hollywood would never allow these things to happen.
They would never let what happens in this movie happen in an American film. They just wouldn't.
Yeah.
So this movie really goes for it.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I love about international film. They're not hung up on American culture. They're not hung up on American hangups. They just want to tell a really good story, and they'll go to whatever lengths they have to do it. And this is a great example of it. And yes, the power of two. The power of two.
Well, I mean, he has his buddy in the military. You see them at the beginning of the film. They're military guys. They're now on leave. He goes to visit the love of his life. I mean, it's this sweet kind of romance, and it is kind of weird. There's not a dance number. I'm glad there isn't. The tone would not have worked. So being absent of a big dance number or musical number was to its benefit.
Well, there were some dream sequences where you could have thrown in a dance number.
Well, the fact that we are comparing it to John Wick says a lot,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And it's not as good as the John Wick 4. I'm just saying, like, John Wick is, but it aspires to be that kind of John Wickness about it. A relentless guy on a mission. The stakes. He has, he doesn't have a gun. He's up against 40 raiders on this train, bandits, and they're brutal. They're willing to kill to get phones and valuables. Mm-hmm. I gotta think this kind of thing happens in India. Well, I'm serious.
It happens in America. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Let's say that too.
Yeah.
But,
and
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. And since we're on the theme, there's a moment where we see the power of many. And so, I think this is a legit genre now. The power of one, the power of two, and the power of many.
Sure, Alan. Sure. We both recommend Kill.
Absolutely. Go see it. Go see it in a theater, please.
I probably say 8 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Let's go to your comments here, starting with super chats. And
all right, Vicky has become a new member. Join us on Discord. Chris popped in for a second.
I did.
Yeah, and
I was there.
Sukar Seahorn for 40. Kill is inspired by a true incident happened in 2010.
Wow. Oh man, that's cool to learn. It exceeded my expectations, and the trailer is great. Don't believe me, just watch the trailer. I'm serious.
Yeah, the trailer is just a fraction of the violence that occurs in the movie.
Just get a taste.
Yeah. Matthew Hammond for 2. Is Kill on par with Under Siege Dark Territory? See, Under Siege, to me, it's just Hollywood action, which is great. I like Hollywood action, but this just feels more grounded in a way.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry. Vicky for 2 British pounds. Can you play Alan's chair fall clip, please?
Oh my God. You know what? We retire clips. I don't think it's here.
By the way, that was a year ago.
Wow, the 1-year anniversary of Falling. That is crazy.
It is amazing. She is the first female action hero ever in a movie.
Well, look, he's 19 years old. She's 32.
Whoa!
Still a classic.
I love it.
It just reminded because the festival I was at is happening right now, where that happened. And so, so if you're in Dallas, go to the Oak Cliff Film Festival. Okay, so for Sukor Seahorn for 100, guys, I recommend Animal. Last time, let me give a synopsis of the film. It promotes masculinity, toxic male protagonists, and triggered woke critics.
Well, this is what I like about foreign films. They're unburdened by Hollywood checklists. Let me say this. Foreign cinema is unburdened by Hollywood checklists. So thank you, Sukarsh Sekon. If I said your name right. Sukarsh Sekon. That's terrible. I'm bad at it. But yeah, Animal, we try to see the ones that we're lucky. Alan and I live where we can see these films open in limited release, but they're in theaters. So
yeah, there's a large Indian population in Orange County,
and they're very supportive of these films. They do very well.
Absolutely.
So more comments here.
Red French Moon sounds good. Die Hard in an Indian train. I'm in.
Oh, that's what it is. It's Die Hard on a train.
Yes,
you're right.
Except doesn't end the same way.
Yeah, don't give anything away.
Okay, Nick XH. Sounds like John Wick meets Sisu.
A little bit. I think Die Hard on a train is more accurate.
Yeah, definitely. Darth Yeager sounds like an old school Western that takes place in India. I'm in.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's in theaters, but usually these films, they'll like make it to VOD pretty soon. So see it either way. All right. We have so many movies to review. We've got 3 more. We might not get to all of them today. We'll see. So, okay, we're going to pivot. Happy Cinco de Mayo, folks. And don't forget the 3 brave amigos who fought the infamous El Guapo and his plethora of bandidos to free the people of Santa Poco, says Wes Ray.
The infamous El Guapo.
Infamous?
Okay.
Infamous?
He's more than famous. He's infamous.
He's infamous.
Okay.
All right. Well,
have you even seen that movie?
What's that?
The 3 Amigos.
Years ago. I have not seen it recently.
Okay.
So, all right, we're gonna pivot first.
This man El Guapo is not just famous, he's infamous.
Alan beat me again. You beat me again.
Yes.
Curses!
I beat you and I beat you.
Let's get to the movie that's on the thumbnail here.
All right.
MaXXXine is the third film in Ty West's trilogy. It's a loosely connected trilogy, starting with X, then Pearl, which was kind of a prequel, and then with MaXXXine, which is set in the 1980s, around 1985. MaXXXine is a porn star auditioning to be in a horror film. She's trying to get the part, nail the part, to be in Elizabeth Bender's film Puritan 2. The opening of the film starts with MaXXXine, played by Mia Goth. And by the way, Mia Goth, phenomenal. What I love about Mia Goth as an actress, she doesn't act like a typical scream queen. She has layered performances. She's unhinged, and her monologue in Pearl is iconic. That 5-minute speech she gives to camera in Pearl is so incredible. It's just that sold me on her as an actress forever. MaXXXine being set in the 80s, she goes into this audition. It's the opening scene of the movie. She also gives it's not as long as 5 minutes. Gives this speech she's memorized, and she nails the part. Walks out and says to the other actresses, "You're wasting your time. I got that part." She lives by herself. She has a gun. She's protective because Hollywood in the 1980s is being terrorized by the Night Stalker who kills people. So this is like in the news. I mean, you see news reports, the Night Stalker, the Night Stalker, the Night Stalker's coming. So it's in the background. She has friends who are also in the business in pornography. We see her meet up with one of her friends who's doing a sex scene, and they all it's very casual to them. They strip, they do porn, whatever. But MaXXXine minks. MaXXXine wants to cross over into legit films in a horror movie. Puritan 2. It's her dream to be in it. And she gets the part. She nails it. But someone is tracking her. Kevin Bacon is a private dick following her, trying to expose her identity and her past. Coming from a religious background, we'll see. So he's tracking her down, exposing aspects of her life. This is all against the backdrop of brutal murders taking place in the 80s. She has a friend who works at the video store. They're both into horror films, and I love it. I love it because they go there and you see the video store, very accurate to a video store in 1985. Love that. I really love this film. I did not like it as much as Pearl. I thought Pearl had more meat on the bones in terms of a performance. This, there are people that are going to love this movie, and I think people that will be mixed on it. It's just not as good as Pearl. What I loved most, the 80s tone. It nailed it. Everything about it, from the gore, their brutal killings, to the tone, the music, Hollywood Boulevard. I moved to LA in 1989. Hollywood Boulevard is so accurate. They brought back old rundown theaters, like the Pacific Theater on Hollywood and Vine is there. Like, I loved it. It was like they reset it in that era. And she's so good at balancing this unhinged woman dealing with her past and trying to move beyond into a future as an actress. So, and lots of surprises. The other thing that was great about it, the cinematography, they shot it like it's from the 80s. I don't know what it was, the lenses or the color and the soft focus. It looked like I could take a VHS of MaXXXine, pop it in the VCR, and watch this movie. On the big screen, they did an effect. It just looks like an 80s movie. And Elizabeth Debicki, is that right?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Debicki plays Elizabeth Bender, the director. And they have this kind of intense relationship, trying to coach her to be a great actress in Puritan too. And that whole conflict is also interesting. I'm not going to get into the kills or any spoilers, obviously, but I think it delivers for me. I don't like it as much as Pearl, but if you're a big horror fan, especially an 80s horror fan, you got to see MaXXXine. So I really, and Mia Goth, I will see anything she's in. So Mia Goth should be in a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie. She's an actress that would bring something to it. You know, she embodies feminine beauty, sexiness. She's a real woman while also being strong. She's not like, you know, she's not just playing a man, you know, in terms of like a strong male character. So I love it. I recommend it. Super fun, especially if you love 80s horror, this movie's for you.
Does it cross the line for me? I mean, is this something I need to see, or
there are some kill scenes you would not like.
Yeah, but is it like yeah? I mean, if you're saying it's reminiscent of the 80s, I'm thinking, you know, like Friday the 13th, Halloween, things
it
like that.
ups the ante on the kills. I think because it's a modern film, the kills are very creative. So let's just say that. But I really loved it, and I hope they continue this series. Mia Goth and Ty West. Mia was a producer on the film, so she clearly had some creative input.
But they're not connected. It's not like the stories are connected. It feels more thematic, if anything.
Yeah. This, unless I missed it, like there is no real direct connection. Thematically, yes, because X was porn, Pearl was a sort of prequel, and I guess thematically, but direct connection.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but let me pause for a second. Someone's going to do a video and say, look at all the Easter eggs in MaXXXine that I missed because I wasn't paying attention. But
yeah, you were watching the movie. You weren't looking for Easter eggs.
Watching the movie, I'm not looking for Easter eggs. But I love the 80s video store. Captured it perfectly. So recommend from me for MaXXXine. All right, Alan, if you would read the super chats, I'm going to be right back.
All right, from Pilgrim Media for 2. Good day, or God day, Mr. Gore and Mr. Ing. Live long. Absolutely. Thank you. From Sukarsh Sikon for 100. A liberal politician wanted to ban animal, and there was a huge discussion in India Parliament to ban animal. Guys, please watch this film. It's awesome. I know people have recommended Animal to us, and I will say even KGF. That's a violent movie. Okay, let's move on here. The Downtown Movie Lounge. Mia Goth should have won the Oscar for Pearl. Mike MC Wong says X is greater than Pearl and it's greater than MaXXXine. So X appears to be the big one. I don't know what Chris thinks about that one. It's me in HD. Is Richard? Yeah, this is actually for Chris. Mia Goth as Zatanna for DC. I will say, in terms of Mia Goth, I've seen the first half of X, so I saw the porn part of X. That's kind of where I stopped. But Infinity Pool, that's my real introduction to Mia Goth, and she was great in that one. What's up? All Twisted Up. MaXXXine is Good time, great vibe. Mia rocked. Good acting, let down of an ending. So a little criticism of the ending. Atomic Lord, if you could grab some more chats, that would help me out greatly here. Let's see. She played Maxine in X, not Pearl. Is that what I meant? Is that previous? Okay, I think I got a previous conversation there. Yeah, Chris. So is Richard Ramirez only hinted at, or was he fully cast and prominent?
He is definitely. They didn't cast someone to play him. He's in it. Let's just say he's in it in a. There are news reports. So there you go.
Yeah, my wife grew up in that era during the Night Stalker, and yeah, she remembers it. She remembers it fondly. That's a bad word to say. From Knee Pain. Hey, Knee Pain. Ty West usually prefers super 16mm for his films. I think that may have contributed to the look Chris mentioned. Was it shot in film or was it digital converted?
I could not tell because I know hey, Knee Pain, shout out to you. Good to see you. There's an effect on it where you can do a lot of things in digital with coloring. I know, for example, Lucas tried to match the original grain to the film stock used to shoot Star Wars when he did episode 1. Mm-hmm. There's so many effects you can do in post. So I don't know, like I'd have to research that, but dang, it looked good. It was authentic to the movies, horror films made in the 80s. And I love those movies. So it was like, it was like new nostalgia. Maxine didn't exist in the 80s, but this is it plays on a lot of things that you like about those movies. Over the top gore, characters you love, characters you hate. So it just, for me, really worked.
Yeah, there's something about the 80s that, I mean, the trailers of horror films in the 80s terrified the hell out of me. Prom Night, Night Train, obviously Friday the 13th, 1 through 5. Those they made great trailers and they did the job. It was scary.
All right, let's go to another review here. We got a couple. I don't know. We'll get to them all. We have an interview coming up shortly, but let's get to. Can you guess which one I'm going to do, Alan?
This one?
It's drive-in related.
Okay, yeah, that's this one.
Wait, here we go.
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder. I will say, Maxine, they do a lot of drugs. There's a lot of coke.
Well, they did a lot of drugs in the 80s.
So. It was very authentic to the 80s. I mean, yeah. What was that notification, Alan?
Oh, stupid. No, it's my OneDrive saying, hey, remember these pictures from 5 years ago?
Quick rant. It's been too long since I've had a rant. Seriously, folks. I'm just... A freaking IKEA chair. I can't stand apps or programs that give you notifications. The default setting for every app should be no notifications. None. Zero. I don't care if there's an update available for one zip drive or whatever. It's like these programs want to remind you that they exist. Like, hey, I'm working in the background doing my job. Hey, notice me. No way. All the applications should have no notifications unless I ask them. I'm tired of it. Mute those notifications, Alan. Mute them right now. A freaking IKEA chair. And for those viewers that are new, the freaking IKEA chair was a reference to the TV show on Disney Plus, Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's in a shuttle and he gets up from a chair and the chair wobbles. If you're on a starship and they look like they bought chairs from IKEA and just placed them in the set, it looks so bad. And I think all the Disney Plus Star Wars shows have looked cheap except for Andor. Andor's the only one that actually feels authentic. Everything else is been just cheap. But we'll talk about Acolyte next week.
Yeah. No, I love how you got 2 rants in there in one.
Double rant. All right. Let's talk about this movie. From Full Moon Entertainment comes Barbie and Kendra crash Joe Bob's Drive-In Jamboree. Yes, that's an actual movie. It's directed by Charlie Band, stars Cody Renee Cameron, Robin Sidney, Diana Prince, and Joe Bob Briggs, and lots of cameos from horror film actors. This movie is intentionally bad. It is, I cannot tell you this movie is good. It's bad. It's a series of films starring Barbie and Kendra. These 2 wacky characters. They go, I don't know if you've ever watched the Joe Bob Briggs Drive-In show on Shudder. It's a lot of fun. And, you know, they feature old movies. Diana Prince is his co-host. They sit and watch them. I've loved Joe Bob Briggs in the 90s, actually. Big fan of Joe Bob. He champions the drive-in movies. Drive-in movies are intentionally bad. They are meant to be fun, not to be good. They are meant to entertain, not to win Oscars. And if that is the scale we're judging this film by, well, this delivers. It's literally Barbie and Kendra crashing his show while they're at the drive-in watching a drive-in movie with weird cameos. It's dumb. It doesn't take itself seriously. And on that scale, I love it. So don't expect a good movie, but expect to have a good time, which is what you would expect at a drive-in. There's still some drive-in theaters in California here, which we're lucky.
Yeah.
Some, but they're fewer. You know, one of my favorite ones closed. The Mission Tiki closed. I loved that theater. Tiki themed. It was a tiki themed drive-in. It's now closed, but yeah. And Cody Renee Cameron, if you ever follow her Instagram, a word of warning. There's it's definitely wants you to keep looking at her Instagram without being specific.
Yep.
So I recommend it if you like cheesy drive-in movies.
We should mention that Barbie and Kendra come from started with Corona Zombies.
That's right.
And then
Corona Zombies.
Yep.
That was a movie made at the start of the pandemic. Charlie Band got together, made this movie in a weekend, and got it out during the 15 days to slow the spread.
Yeah, the early stages of COVID when we were fighting over toilet paper.
Dude, watch Corona Zombies. I think there's a watch party on the channel.
Yes, there is.
The trailer. Just look up Corona Zombies on the Film Threat YouTube channel. You'll see lots of stuff about it.
What's great about it is it's like What's Up Tiger Lily, where they just took old movies and then redubbed the dialogue.
Well, they took an old Italian zombie movie and they put in, you know, Barbie and Kendra, and then they're in the movie while they're watching the movie. It's it's fun. It's fun. So
and then they did an Origin of the Tiger King, which was during the pandemic.
Oh my God. That one was not my favorite, but I'll still watch it.
But the Area 51, that one's my favorite.
That one was good too. So this is a whole series of films. They're on the Full Moon Entertainment streaming app. which is like $5 a month.
Mhm.
Has tons of horror films, the whole full moon library, and then they have a library of Italian exploitation that is also on there.
Yeah.
Subscribe every once in a while. If I want to see a movie, I'll just $5 here. I'll watch some movies.
If you like women in prison movies, they're all there.
There is a whole section of women in prison films. So my tip of the hat to Charlie Band for continuing the legacy of Barbie and Kendra. Let's go to your comments here. Quick comments. We have one more film to review. You might get to it.
Yes, from Night Saber, Full Moon. Yes. Laura Buckles says, "Wow, talk about a movie that looks like it came from the 80s." I think, yeah. Accidental Tourist. Hey, great. Porn without porn. And then, hey, it's me in HD. Those old Joe Bob Briggs clips on classic TNT are some of my fondest memories.
Yeah, he curates like a really good like drive-in films. He's unabashedly a fan, which I love. Love that.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on Elvira out here. She was the one.
I love Elvira. These are all like things I love, you know? So here we go. One last, we don't have a lot of time. A quick review here. Quick review.
Right.
Oh, wait, no, we have Daddio. I forgot.
Yeah, we don't have the poster and we don't have it wasn't on the list.
It's on the list.
It's not on the list.
Can we get it?
Yeah, we can get it.
Let's
why don't you
go.
talk about this one and then I'll
play a video. All right, let me talk about this. Sorry, folks. We're nearly organized. We're professionals here. We'll get that going.
Yeah, you can talk about it while I'm getting everything.
All right. Ghost in the Shell is a classic anime sci-fi that inspired the Cyberpunk 2077 game. It was also inspired by previous cyberpunk fiction. Ghost in the Shell 2 is sort of a loose sequel, not a direct sequel, of one of the characters from Ghost in the Shell. I'm trying to find his name right here. It's the detective. It's just detective. And it's following him on a new case. There's a sort of veiled connection to Ghost in the Shell. This is not a direct sequel per se. Continuing that, it's sort of a additional story of the detective involving reanimated robots, so to speak, and some Ghost in the Shell. It's dark. It is so dark at some points. There is hyper violence in it, if you like that, in anime form. And there's something creepy about these robots that I really love. So this is a quick review. This is a recommend, but it's also recommend with a warning. If you love Ghost in the Shell, this is not necessarily a direct sequel. Lower your expectations. This is a story in the Ghost in the Shell universe of the detective, and sort of themes are similar, but it's not a proper sequel per se. So lower your expectations, go in, and you'll be entertained. That's my quick review. There you are. Yeah. All right. Next.
It's okay.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah. Let me now find the poster.
It's all good, man.
We're getting there. Oh, let's see if I can. Okay. Here we go. Let's talk about Daddio.
Why is it so small?
You know what? For 5 minutes, I've been trying to find a poster that's not in the WEPD format, and this is the best one. The only one I could find, so that's why it's small. Because I need a JPEG of it.
All right, let's go.
I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in the sense of you want a movie to watch that you want to talk about afterwards and not feel like, oh, it was okay.
Well, there you go. Magnum Norse for 10. You've been gored. How does that happen?
How was I gored there?
All right, Alan.
Your indifference. I got gored by your indifference.
Alan, tell us the story of Daddio.
Yeah, so Daddio is a very simple story brought to us by Christy Hall, who wrote and directed it. But it's basically a two-hander. Dakota plays a character called Girly. She has just landed from a long trip. She gets into a taxi with Sean Penn here. And on the trip there, she is texted by her boyfriend, who we find out is actually her married lover. And she is the side piece. And Sean Penn's character, he's not exactly the the upstanding character that you'd want him to be. But the two of them basically just get into a conversation about life, about the things we do in life, the mistakes we've made along the way. For Sean Penn's character, he made a lot of mistakes in life and is kind of, he's looking back at his life, thinking about what he should have done, could have done, and looking at the person who he is. While Girly, Dakota Johnson's character, she has to start making some decisions about her own life and the choices she's making. And it all happens over an hour and a half within this taxi cab. And I'll just say I took my daughter to see it. You saw it with you, Chris. This is her favorite movie of the year so far. She just likes the movie is a conversation. It was inspired by the fact that during COVID, we were all isolated from one another, and that this is kind of a celebration of human connection, just being able to talk. I remember the Q&A, the one that Sean Penn had you shut down, filming it. But there was a moment where the moderator talks about Sean Penn's character and complains about, or points out that he was being very inappropriate in this movie, his character. And I thought to myself, no, he wasn't being inappropriate. He was being human. He was saying what was on his heart. He wasn't self-censoring himself. And I think that's what the best thing about this movie is that this is a tough subject for Girly to have to really confront the fact that she's in this relationship and that this relationship's not going to go in the direction that she wants it to go. And then he becomes very blunt and open about it, and maybe not as not as empathetic or caring in the way he responds. And yet it forges this friendship. And to me, look, it's a drama. It's a two-hander. It's a conversation. But I was riveted by this conversation the entire time. And
I felt the same way about it. They're stuck in traffic. That's the premise. They have a 90-minute conversation. She's texting the boyfriend, and Dakota Johnson is great.
Mm-hmm.
She really, I really love her. Not only because like off camera, she's like super cool. I think she understands her career. She understands Hollywood. She understands the effed upness. And this movie's not for kids, by the way. Like it's R-rated. And she's looking at her text. She's talking to Sean Penn. They have this whole conversation where it really affects her. It affects her to evaluate her life. And the director, there's a Q&A with the director, and we filmed as much as the panel as I could on our members only section of Film Threat. But I really was sucked in. It's short. It could have been a play, but it feels cinematic enough. They use technology where they were, in the cab going on this, stuck in traffic for an hour and a half, and that's not unusual. And both characters are kind of changed by their response, by their conversation, and how they react to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. Did not expect to. I was like, oh my God, 2 actors in a cab. My God. And then it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. When that moderator said he was saying things inappropriate, that I don't know, that really pissed me off.
No, it was fine. It was great. It was human. And by the way, look up Sean Penn's recent statements in interviews. He is pushed back about BS in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I just look it up.
Yeah.
Sean Penn, surprisingly, you would not expect him to finally, go like, hey guys, we might be going a little too far.
Yeah. Although we might question his foreign policy stances, but I absolutely love this movie.
Look up what Sean Penn has said in recent interviews. We'll do a news story on it, but I recommend Daddio, but know what it is. It may or may not be for you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's truly indie. All right, let's go to your comments here. And we have an interview coming up shortly with Stimson Snead, who's waiting patiently in the background. Stimson, check the private chat. That's what it's for. You have to check the private chat. You gotta, all right.
Yeah, but we'll be right there.
There's a tab that says private chat.
Okay, so just 2 comments.
Read this. Go.
All right.
Read.
All right. Hey, it's me in HD. Does this stink of hipster NY type BS? I don't think so. I mean,
very
blunt.
The thing is this: if you don't like this kind of movie, don't go to see this kind of movie. It's indie. It's 2 actors.
But and as much as it takes place in New York, I wouldn't necessarily call it a New York movie. It shows us scenes of New York, but in terms of this kind of hipster New York type, I don't think it's there.
No.
All right. From Caveat Ties for 1 on Rumble, is there as much gore in MaXXXine as in Return of the Doc?
I don't know what Return of the Doc is.
Oh, it means Attack of the Doc. Gore. So much gore in MaXXXine as
a joke.
Attack of the Doc.
There's more gore actually in MaXXXine, to be honest. So there you go. All right, we're gonna pivot because we have an interview today. So here we go. What were you thinking, Alan?
I was thinking, when are you going to play that video? And then it's like,
hey, let's talk to Stimson Snead about his new film.
Well, I love the glass.
Oh, thanks. Give an intro. We're a few minutes behind.
Sorry. There we go. Got it.
That's Alan's. I'm teaching Alan how to do the show.
It's all done.
Your film, Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox, just premiered at a festival recently.
Well, we just had our Los Angeles premiere, but we actually had our world premiere back at CineQuest in San Jose.
Oh, congratulations. Tell us the story of your film.
Do you have an easier question like quantum physics maybe I could get into?
No, we'll get into that. But tell us the story. I've seen the movie. It's the effects and, surprisingly, a lot of gore in your movie. I'm shocked.
We had a very unsafe set. Now, the story of Tim Travers, it's about the time traveler's paradox, that old thought experiment where if you go back in time 1 minute, kill your younger self, or the other version is go back, kill your grandfather, or go back, prevent your parents from getting together. Just the whole, if you change a thing, does that not create a paradox because you're no longer around to change a thing? And the story is about a mad scientist who decides to do that and discovers that the paradox breaks reality in ways he did not expect, including his own emotional well-being.
Well, that's for sure. And then I don't know how you did all the there's so many. I don't want to ruin anything, but there are a lot of versions of Tim. Let's just say a lot in this movie. I don't know how this takes Back to the Future 2 and like to new levels, so to speak.
Incidentally, still my favorite of all the Back to the Futures is Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, I love time travel stories. I just love them. The whole thinking. The fact that this movie deals with that one question with layers is really inventive.
Well, it's part of what inspired it. It's like you see time travel stories all the time, but they're usually an excuse to get to something else. Like time travel, so we have an excuse to fight dinosaurs. Time travel, so you can meet your parents as teens. The time travel itself is never really the point. It's always a tool to get to something else that the storyteller is more interested in. With this movie, I really am interested in the time travel, the consequences of it. And there is a nerd audience out there of people like me who love these sort of thought experiments. So that's what we wanted to do here.
It's literally like taking one of the long time debates in, between nerds and making a movie out of that debate.
And for some people, that's a terrible description of the film. For some people, that be like, oh God, not for me.
No, for me, that's perfect. How did you get the cast? Right?
Well, our main cast guy is Samuel Dunning, who plays Tim Travers, who's also the only unknown in the cast. I actually met him after writing the short film that this was adapted from. And I remember writing the script and being like, I can't do this. I don't know any actor who can play this role. I shelved it. And a month later, at a festival that was so small, there were more people on the panel than in the audience. Not an exaggeration. He and I were both on that panel, and I'm just watching this man speak, and it's like, he's the one.
Well, so, the idea he's not playing different versions of himself, but it's kind of like
story, not a multiverse story at all.
It's not that. It's sort of like, the a couple minutes ago version.
Yeah.
Questioning. So how about Felicia Day? I love her. I've always loved her.
Oh, well, before you get to Felicia Day, I just want to go back to,
sure.
It was wonderful, but the thing you were mentioning about the different characters he plays, we get a lot of Tim Travers in this film, but they're not multiverses. It's just one guy separated by a few minutes, which to me is interesting because I've always had this fear that what if I found myself trapped in a room with nothing but other me's and somehow I was still the least popular? Like that's just been a fear of mine. And that's what we're trying to play with, that stuff there. Felicia was a dream to work with, and I wish I had a better story for how we got her. We called her agent, sent her the script. She liked the script. And then we haggled for a few days. And that was it. Same for all the big names in it. Keith David, Danny Trejo, Joel McHale. It was a really old-fashioned casting process.
Yeah, I love Danny Trejo in anything. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
We've got like 2,000 people watching live right now. We have a lot of chat questions. We will get to your chat questions in a moment. But I just want to say, this is indie sci-fi. There's a lot of special effects. How did you pull that off? There are so many on-screen versions of Tim. They are wearing badges like beta, alpha, like all the through the alphabet. How did you, like in a frame, map all that out? Was it storyboarded? How did you do with that?
Oh God, I wish we had time to storyboard in this film. We barely had time to make a shot list on this film. We were moving so fast, and the number of Tims. So regarding the special effects, there are in this little indie film 540 effect shots in the film.
Wow.
Easily a solid third of the entire film is to some degree or another an effect shot. And there was a really secret trick we used to make it work, which was to have somebody else do it.
All right.
We went through a company called Mode Effects, who did all the effects on a show called Z Nation. And the guy who runs it, Jason McKee, is also the film's lead editor. So even as we were in post-production on the edit, it was the effects department who was sitting there helping us dictate how we were going to edit it together. The other big effect we use in the film is the fact that there's actually a lot of shots that have no effects. The main trick we use for the Tim Travers is actually camera trickery with no effects at all. We had about 5 lookalikes of Sam, who plays Tim Travers, on set all the time, in wearing wigs, including our hero lookalike, a guy we call named David Babbitt, who also plays the delivery boy in the film, who actually had his hair cut and dyed to model Sam's perfectly, and is putting an entire performance on. So anytime you're looking over his shoulder or you're seeing a little bit of a Tim that's dirtying the frame, that's not an effect, that's just a different guy. And we extrapolated that out to add more Tims. I think in total, 8 different people wear the Tim Travers costume in the course of making this film.
Like I said, we've got 2,000 people watching live. We've got a lot of questions. Let's go to the chat questions for you right here. Alan, if you would read these.
Yeah, Ron is wrong. Ron is wrong. Wouldn't have Paradox been a smaller title?
Yes.
Did you get pushback on your title?
Not as much fun.
Yeah, I like your title. It's fun.
Did you get pushback on it, or?
A couple people, but also I like a title that really conveys the kind of film you're in for. And the thing is, it's so hokey and silly. Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox. You already know what kind of movie you're in for before you walk into the theater. I mean, right down to the logos we use for the film and the old David Cronenberg style poster we use.
Absolutely. All right. From Solomon Thornton, greetings, Sir Stimson. Any advice for great filmmakers?
Watch lots and lots of films and figure out how you would do it better. That doesn't mean you're going to do it better, but actually ask yourself to get out of a critic's mindset when you watch films. Like, too often as a critic, we're thinking about, is this good? Is it bad? That's irrelevant. If you're trying to make a film, you just have to believe in the film. So watch films with the eye of how you would do this. What's the way you would film this scene? How would you do this if you had absolutely no money and you're shooting on your phone, but you're still trying to film what is functionally the same scene? And also, it's worth watching a lot of bad films, not because you want to make fun of them, but because you want to figure out, okay, I see what they're doing wrong. If I'm in the same position, how do I not fall into the same trap? And that's something anybody can do anytime, just by watching movies.
All right. Great advice. Hey, it's me in HD. Not related to this movie, but Mr. Stimson, that shirt is absolutely fire.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to make Hawaiian goth a thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you, sir. Grizzled Entertainment, what about the flux capacitor?
We don't have a flux capacitor. We have a massive, large particle accelerator in the film that's built under his compound, and we get a few interior shots of.
All right,
because I like particles.
Brock Samson asks, Tim, do you watch Futurama? They handle all different kinds of time travel on that show.
Not only do I watch Futurama, I have seen everything you can see with Futurama, and I regularly play poker with one of the animators.
Oh.
You're kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I love Futurama. I love it.
Great show. Love it to death.
Yeah. And is he any good at poker?
Yes, he regularly takes all of my money. It's very frustrating.
But you're getting advice. That's the price. All right.
Hey, give me advice about this stuff. He's there to play poker.
Hey, it's me in HD. Which time travel movie would Mr. Stimson? One of the best for me. It's Looper. What's your favorite? What's the best time travel movie?
Best versus favorite. 2 different questions. I think as a movie that actually digs into time travel, probably Primer is still the best one, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is T2 because T2 is amazing.
Yeah, there you go. All right. For Matthew Hammond for 5. Hey, thanks. Did Stimson take inspiration from other time travel movies like Primer? We talked about that. Back to the Future, yes. Groundhog Day, Live, Die, Repeat, Looper, Deja Vu, Time Cop, and Tenet.
I wouldn't call it inspiration because I wasn't trying to do any of these things these films are trying to do. Part of the reason I wanted to make this weird little film was I wanted to see something I hadn't seen done before. Now, does that make the film better than that? No, God, no. These are all massively wonderful films, but they're trying to do something different than what I was trying to do with Tim Travers.
All right. Joseph. Oh, Danny Trejo is in it too.
Yes, he is. And he nearly froze to death.
We have a question about that coming up. Hail, Mr. Snead. I wanted to tell a joke about time travel, but you didn't like it. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. He wanted to tell a joke about time travel, so he already did in the past, and apparently it didn't work. That is some solid time travel writing right there. I'm sure I'm going to find it hilarious next week.
All right. Nerd Far Away. Hail, Mr. Snead. Which do you think is more fun to execute? Principal or digital special effects?
Practical.
Practical
Every single time. Practical is harder, and sometimes you're limited by stuff. And the trap you can fall into with digital is, while it's amazing, sometimes you can rely on it too heavily. In this film, we tried to draw a really hard delineation between what was going to be CG and what wasn't. So we'd rely very much on camera trickery whenever humanly possible, but we also knew we were going to do deep fakes and facial replacements and have like a full CG model of his head for certain group shots where we simply couldn't trick in camera. But practical, if you've got the time and money, always more fun every single time. Don't tell the animators I said that.
From Bush and Rio Cat for 2, thank you. Solomon, please say you like the 1980 Time Bandits.
I think he means Stimson, but go on.
Okay,
Yeah.
Stimson. Yeah.
Bush and Rycat, if by that you're referring to my Steelbook Collector's Edition Criterion downstairs, yes, I am loosely familiar with the film.
Right. And are you looking forward to Apple ruining it?
If Apple actually picks up my movie, I'll be so damn happy that they can slap me while they buy it, and I'll say, thank you, may I have another?
All right. And ADLS 24, what was behind the idea to shoot in Spokane, and what is the indie film production scene like in that part of the country? Did you locally source your crew?
Well, the idea to shoot in Spokane was because of the indie scene. They have a company there called Northwest Passage, formerly known as North by Northwest, who is responsible for all of Z Nation, several TV shows ongoing right now, Smoke Signals, Knights of Badassdom. This is not an indie company. They are probably the biggest player in the state of Washington by a significant margin, actually, as a production team. So we did the production there. The entire thing was a local Spokane team. In fact, the only people who were from out of town were the celebrities and the lead actor, Samuel Dunning. I myself even went to college in Spokane, so I've got very deep roots in that community.
And
it's
one
to shoot in.
Stimson, one last question. Well, I have one question after. Brock Samsonite asks, do you believe in Professor Hulk's version of time travel is correct? Because I think Back to the Future doesn't have plot holes like Hulk's theory does. Do you agree with Hulk? I think he's talking about Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, I have not read that specific article, so I can't really tear into it. I do think, though, if we're referring to, are we talking about Avengers or are we talking about Back to the Future?
Both. Both,
yeah.
Like he's saying, Hulk. Do you think Hulk's version of time travel is correct from Endgame or Back to the Future?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Hulk critic reviews. Yeah.
No. the movie Endgame and the character in the movie.
They're both demonstrably correct because within the reality and context of their film worlds, they follow their own rules fairly well, but it is two different sets of rules. And they're both proven right. I mean, they're demonstrably correct in both cases. It's just that they're functioning in entirely different realities.
Now, your film is playing the festival circuit right now. When will it see release?
Sometime next year when we lock in our final distribution. So you'll see. So Tim Travers will be out sometime in 2025. And hopefully we'll have more information about that coming up at San Diego Comic-Con.
Will you be there?
We have a panel Thursday night, the 25th.
Nice. Okay. All right.
So if anybody coming to Comic-Con, just come out, say hello.
Will Felicia be on the panel?
Yes.
Ooh.
Good. I'm a fan. Stimson, thank you for joining us today on the Film Threat livecast. Have a great weekend.
I shall have a. Thanks for all the great questions, guys.
All right, take care. Thanks. Bye. That was awesome.
Yes.
He was great.
I'm excited. I believe it was Dances with Films. That's where.
Yeah. Dances with Films. I gotta say, you can hear my voice now.
Yeah, it's not.
I didn't get home until late last night, walking home from the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm a little haggard today. So please, all I can say is this: I just had a bad review day. Don't read anything into it. I'm not dementia or anything. I'm having a bad review day. So apologies to everyone. I love Time Bandits. That might be one of my favorite time travel movies.
Yeah. And Apple's gonna ruin it.
Yeah, I don't have much faith, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
That wraps it up for us today. Want to remind people, coming Wednesday, July 17th, Funeral for a Franchise. Join us. We currently have merch in our store. You can get 15% off for a limited time, only the next week, using the offer code.
Star Wars is dead.
Star Wars is dead. Use that offer code. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. You can see you can get a mug or a shirt. And this is only for the next week. And you can get the discount. Star Wars is dead. Get that. More details. We will be debuting the trailer next week for the funeral of Star Wars. So pick up some merch. I'll give you a little tease. You want to see a tease?
Of course I do.
I'll show you a tease.
All right.
It's just a short tease.
Tease me, baby.
Here we go.
That is so Terry Gilliam, by the way.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
So kicks off next week. Grab your merch while you can. Star Wars is dead is the offer code at shop.filmthreat.com. Alan, what do you have coming up this weekend?
Just goofing off this weekend. We're trying to make up for a trip that didn't happen. So, but I'm watching a bunch of movies.
I am going to the Wong Mansion for a huge party. It should be a lot of fun. On Saturday, I'll be hanging with Don. You're invited, Alan.
I know I am invited. I got the official invite, and unfortunately, I can't go for said reasons I just mentioned. But I was looking forward to it.
Well, it's all good, man. I will be recovered on Monday for Versus. It will be a fun show. I love Versus is blowing up. People are really liking it.
Yeah.
So
what are we going to talk about on Versus?
The Acolyte. Hey, one more super chat just came in.
Yes, for Matthew Hammond for 5. You thought stroke gore was bad. Enters dementia gore.
Or how about standing gore? I'm just gonna stand like this.
Very presidential.
I'm looking at the ground.
Very presidential.
On the floor. I'm just standing like this, like Cornholio. Oh, geez, what happened? What was that? I'm gonna destroy my set.
All right.
Thanks, Matthew. We appreciate your support, and thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth, Atomic Lori, lurking in the background. We love Lori. She made that graphic for Comic-Con. She'll be at the meetup. And of course, Glenn Brown, our producer. And there you go. Alan, and thank you to you.
Oh, thanks.
We keep growing. We're on X, we're on Rumble, We're here on YouTube. I can't wait, man. And in Comic-Con, I cannot wait.
Let's fucking go.
Comic-Con, if you've not seen our schedule, it's crazy. Look at that. I'm riding a sandwich. One is a Benny.
I'm a Benny Gesserit.
I'll post that. I'll post it for everybody. There you go.
Okay.
All right, Alan. Alan, you know what to do.
Yes, let's get out of here. What?
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Movies, 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 movies.